Good morning and welcome to the Public Service Commission of South Carolina. It is June 27th, 2024, and we are here for our regularly scheduled regular business meetings, I should say, but at a changed time due to some travel that the commission must undertake this afternoon. So it's 11 a.m. and we are here to look at our agendas for the week. Present in the let's take a roll call of commissioners. Present in the hearing room, we have Commissioner Justin Williams, Commissioner Thomas, Vice Chair Powers, Chair Belser, and with us virtually, we see Commissioner Caston, and I think we have Commissioner Carolee Williams telephonically. Or there she is, and we have Commissioner Carolee Williams virtually. Before we begin today's agenda, I invite you to join me for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Scarborough.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Vice Chair Powers, and Commissioners. First item of business is to set the next regularly scheduled commission business meeting. Staff recommends that the next meeting be set for Thursday, July 11th, 2024 at 2 p.m.
We will set the next commission business meeting for Thursday, July 11th, 2024 at 2 p.m.
Thank you. Today we have 7 items on the utilities agenda and 14 items on the transportation agenda. Item number 1 appears in docket number 2024-99C. This item involves final disposition of this docket.
Commissioners, we've heard utilities agenda item 1 is identified by Mr. Scarborough. Is there a motion?
Chair Belser, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Carolee Williams is recognized.
Thank you very much. I move that the Commission approve the application of Zytel LLC for a certificate of public convenience and necessity to provide resold and facilities-based local exchange access telecommunication services, and for flexible regulation of local offerings in accordance with procedures authorized in order number 98-165 in docket number 97-467-C. I further move that the Commission grant Zytel's request for a waiver of the requirement of Zytel's records be kept within the state as required by South Carolina Code Annotated Regs 103-610. Additionally, I move that Zytel be allowed to maintain its records in accordance with the generally accepted accounting principles. I move that Zytel be granted a waiver of the requirements imposed by South Carolina Code Annotated Regulations 103-631, as it does not provide switched voice services or dial tone. Finally, I move that the Commission approve the stipulations between Zytel and the South Carolina Telephone Coalition, and the terms of this stipulation be incorporated into the Commission's order in this matter. I so move.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Carolee Williams. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed with a roll call vote, starting with Commissioner Carolee Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. The motion carries.
Item number 2 appears in dockets number 2000-265C and 2003-105C. This is a request from Bullseye Telecom Incorporated to cancel its certificate and tariffs.
Commissioners, we've heard utilities agenda item 2 as described by Mr. Scarborough. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Thomas is recognized.
Thank you. On June 12th, 2024, the Commission received notice regarding the internal reorganization of Bullseye Telecom, Inc. and Lingo Telecom, Inc. and related approval for transfer of customers. This transfer of customers from Bullseye Telecom to Lingo Telecom was approved in the August 31st, 2023 order number 2023-644, issued in docket numbers 2003-105C and 2000-265C. The carrier advises that the transfer is complete and that all customers of Bullseye Telecom are now being served by Lingo Telecom. Bullseye Telecom has ceased operation in the state of South Carolina, and Bullseye requests that the Commission cancel its certificate and authority to do business in South Carolina as a local and inter-exchange telecommunications carrier, along with cancellation of any tariffs on file with the Commission. I move that the Commission cancel the certificate of Bullseye Telecom Incorporated and all tariffs on file with the Commission for Bullseye Telecom.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Thomas. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, starting with Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. The motion carries.
Item number 3 is in docket number 2017-28S. This item involves notice from South Carolina Water Utilities Incorporated of a pass-through rate increase as a result of an increase in wastewater rates from the town of Lexington.
Commissioners, we've heard utilities agenda item number 3 identified by Mr. Scarborough. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Caston is recognized.
Thank you. On June 10th, 2024, South Carolina Water Utilities Incorporated, Synergy, advised that the town of Lexington is adjusting its rates effective for service provided after July 1st, 2024. Synergy provided notice to customers of the Barnesdale subdivision that the town of Lexington has increased their out-of-town wastewater treatment rates for bulk treatment only customers. Effective on July 1st, 2024, the wastewater treatment rates for bulk treatment only customers has increased to $38.97. Previously, the pass-through charges for wastewater treatment and disposal from the town of Lexington for the Van Arsdale subdivision was $37.65 per month. This is an increase of $1.32 per month effective July 1st, 2024 per residential unit or customer. The pass-through charges at issue are limited to expenses charged to Synergy by third parties for those commodities and services and are charges over which Synergy has no control. Because these are pass-through charges upon which no profit is made, the rate structure and the overall rate of return do not need to be recalculated. I move that the Commission allow South Carolina Water Utilities Incorporated to collect these new adjustments for wastewater treatment and disposal fees under the same terms as granted by Commission Order number 2018-369. The utility provided notice to its customers on June 5th, 2024. Proof of the increase in the town of Lexington was provided. I so move.
Thank you, Commissioner Caston. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Caston. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, starting with Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams.
I vote aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams.
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 4 is in docket number 2024-125E. This is a verified petition from Tanger Properties Limited Partnership for an order granting a limited waiver of the South Carolina generator interconnection procedures and a request for expedited consideration.
Commissioners, we've heard utilities agenda item 4. It's identified by Mr. Scarborough. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Justin Williams is recognized.
thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, fellow commissioners, I'm going to give a bit of background and then make a motion regarding this item. Tanger Properties Limited Partnership petitioned the Commission for a waiver of the provision in the South Carolina generator interconnection procedures requiring utilities to preserve capacity for small, primarily residential solar generating facilities. Tanger operates an outlet mall in North Charleston and intends to build a solar generating facility for 6 of the buildings at the mall. Tanger's electric provider Dominion Energy South Carolina is required to reserve capacity for small solar providers under Section 2.1 of the South Carolina excuse me, of the South Carolina Generator Interconnection Procedures. Thus, when Tanger applied for interconnection of its proposed facilities, Dominion Energy South Carolina was required by the South Carolina Generator Interconnection Procedure to consider the unused reserve capacity in determining whether Tanger's facilities would create any voltage issues at the relevant substations. Thank you. The inclusion of this unused reserve capacity resulted in a determination that there would be voltage issues, and as a result, Tanger would have to spend approximately $2.5 million to upgrade the substation. If Dominion Energy South Carolina were not required to account for the unused reserve capacity, Tanger's proposed facilities would not have demonstrated any voltage issues. At oral argument on this matter, Dominion Energy South Carolina did not identify any actual voltage issues that would result from the interconnection of Tanger's proposed facilities. Looking to the specific substation at issue, it appears that less than 10% of the capacity Dominion Energy South Carolina is required to reserve under the South Carolina Generator Interconnection Procedures has been utilized by small solar facilities in the nearly 10 years since the requirements of the South Carolina Generator Interconnection Procedures were approved by the Commission. The Commission has previously granted limited waivers of certain requirements of the South Carolina Generation Interconnection Procedures when in the public interest. In considering the specific facts presented in this case, I believe that a limited waiver of the requirement that Dominion Energy South Carolina reserve certain capacity for small solar facilities is in the public interest, again, based on the specific facts and circumstances presented in this particular case before the Commission at this time. The reserve capacity at the particular substation at issue has not historically been, nor is it currently being utilized. With a limited waiver, Tanger could, in essence, put this unused capacity to use. For these reasons, I move that the Commission grant the verified petition of Tanger Properties Limited Partnership for a limited waiver of generation interconnection procedures. I further move that the limited waiver relate only to the requirements of Section 2.1 of the South Carolina Generators Interconnection Procedures, and that Dominion Energy South Carolina reserve circuit capacity for small solar at the specific substation at issue as it relates to Tanger's interconnection requests. Finally, I move that this limited waiver relate only to the specific facts and circumstances presented in this matter before the Commission at this time, and it should not be considered a waiver of the requirements of Section 2.1 of the South Carolina Generators Interconnection Procedures generally. I so move. And Madam Chair, I have a few comments to make at the appropriate time.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Justin Williams. Is there any discussion? And we'll recognize Commissioner Justin Williams first.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The initial motion to have oral arguments in this case was made in May. I believe the exact date was May 16th. Fortunately, I was on military leave at the time and not able to participate in that particular meeting. I note that because this case was filed, or the petition was filed on April 4th, and the Commission heard it in about a month, and we had oral arguments. And at oral arguments, I learned that the petitioner, Tanger, was prepared to move forward with building their solar generating facilities. And as a general sense, I don't think it's a good idea for bureaucracy to stand in the way of business if no regulation is being broken and there's no clear and decisive reason to deny a request to move forward as so mentioned in this case. However, in a perfect world, considering that we may get more requests similar to this, in a perfect world, I would like to see a matter like this go forth at a hearing as soon as the petition is filed, so that we could get all facts and circumstances on the record. I appreciate Dominion appearing at the oral arguments, but their role was very limited, and Tanger was the star of the show, as they should be, because it was their petition. I believe the arguments that they made. Their lawyer made outstanding arguments. I find the arguments very credible. Just from a regulatory perspective, if we want to be perfect, I think it may be a good idea or a best practice in the future to just schedule a hearing as soon as a matter like this is brought before the commission, so that we can, as quickly as possible, hear the facts and circumstances, allow both the petitioner and the utility to put their positions on the record, and to make sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. I think we are here in this case based on what I heard at oral arguments. But again, if we desire to be perfect, a hearing may be the best place for that to happen. Nonetheless, I made the motion that I made because I think the waiver should be granted, but definitely don't want to send the message that if we are to receive a request like this in the future, just looking down the road, that a waiver will be the approach the commission would take in the future. I'll be open to any questions if there are any. If not, that's all I have, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Commissioners, any further discussion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Caston?
excuse me, and I appreciate those comments and feedback, and I too would like to have that perfection, but I know that's not achievable. And I understand exactly what Commissioner Williams went through, and I will not be able to support the motion only for that reason, that I would feel more comfortable if we had a hearing examiner or something to specifically get from the company Dominion that they've viewed this, there is no issues independent of the SCGIP. I have no problem with actually what's being asked, or that perhaps SCGIP is not only outdated, but needs to be updated, or I have no issues with any of that. My issue is, I guess, maybe that closer to perfection item that Commissioner Williams touched on. I would prefer to have the record with having asked those questions, those technical questions of Dominion. That said, I can't support it just for those reasons. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Comment.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, starting with Commissioner Justin Williams.
I vote aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
I vote no.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. By a 5-1 vote, the motion carries.
Item number 5 appears in docket number 2023-70G. This is a request from Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated for approval to correct Scrivener's errors in rates 34 and 36 to reflect the rate design approved in Commission Order number 2023-737A.
Commissioners, we've heard Utilities Agenda Item 5 identified by Mr. Scarborough. Is there a motion?
Chair Belser, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams is recognized.
Thank you. I move that the commission grant Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated's request for approval to correct Scrivener's errors identified in rate 34 and rate 36. This correction relates to the minimum charge section of the rate 34 and 36 schedules, and ensures that both the base facility charge component and the demand charge component are included within the description of minimum charge. This correction conforms the description of minimum charge contained in the rate schedules to the rate design approved in order number 2023-737A. Further, I move that the commission find that the correction of the scrivener's errors may be made without notice and hearing because this correction incorporates an already approved rate design and does not require a determination of Dominion's entire rate structure of the overall rate of return. I so move, and I have a comment at the appropriate time.
Thank you. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Carolee Williams. We'll now have discussion and recognize Commissioner Carolee Williams.
Madam Chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Excuse me, Vice Chair Powers?
Excuse me, Commissioner Williams. I just wanted to put on the record that I was out for medical leave in this matter and will not be voting.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Commissioner Carolee Williams, you recognized?
Thank you. I just wanted to note that in delving into this, in addition to the motion, what we learned is that that all customers were charged as intended per our order, and that we appreciate that Dominion came forward and told us about the circumstance, in addition to making numerous safeguards to ensure that it will not happen again.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, is there any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, starting with Commissioner Carolee Williams.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams?
Aye.
Chair Belser votes aye. The record will reflect Vice Chair Powers is not voting, and the motion carries.
Item number 6 is in dockets numbered 2023-211WS and 2024-27WS. This is a request from the Office of Regulatory Staff to consolidate these two dockets for hearing and procedural purposes.
With regard to Utilities Agenda Item number 6, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Vice Chair Powers.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the commission grant the request of the Office of Regulatory Staff to consolidate these two dockets for hearing purposes only and to modify the procedural schedule for docket number 2023-211-WS by adopting the same procedural schedule of docket number 2024-27-WS in order number 2024-404. That schedule would be the company direct is due September 6, 2024. ORS Intervenor Direct due September 20th, 2024. Company Rebuttal due October 4th, 2024. ORS or Intervenor Surrebuttal due October 18th, 2024. Merits Hearing November 1st, 2024. Final Order December 2nd, 2024. So moved.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Vice Chair Powers. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chairman, just let me add that this is a case that involves the same buyer and seller, and we feel that certainly it saves a lot of time. I know that ORS has talked to the Department of Consumer Affairs. They agree and have no objection. So I think this consolidation is in everybody's best interest. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, starting with Vice Chair Powers.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Carolee Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. The motion carries.
Item number 7 is in dockets numbered 2023-387W and 2024-28S. This also is a request from the Office of Regulatory Staff to consolidate these two dockets for hearing and scheduling purposes.
With regard to Utilities Agenda Item 7, is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Vice Chair Powers.
I move the commission grant the request of the Office of Regulatory Staff to consolidate these two dockets for hearing purposes only and to modify the procedural schedule for docket number 2023-387W by adopting the same procedural schedule of docket number 2024-28-S in order number 2024-405. That would be Company Direct due September 13th, 2024, ORS or Intervenor Direct due September 27th, 2024, Company Rebuttal due October 11th, 2024, ORS and Intervenor Surrebuttal due October 25th, 2024, Merits Hearing November 4th, 2024, and Final Order December 2nd, 2024.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Vice Chair Powers. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. The motion carries.
Madam Chair, that completes the utilities agenda before the commission. Moving on to the motor carrier agenda, in Part A, we have 7 applications for new Class C and Class E certificates, and these items can be taken together. Item A1 is in docket number 2024-170T, which is the application of Easy as Pie Moving LLC for a Class E household goods certificate. Item A2 appears in docket number 2024-171T. This is the application of Alley Cat Transport LLC for a Class C charter certificate. Item A3 is in docket number 2024-172T, which is the application of Divinity Personal Care LLC for a Class C non-emergency certificate. Item A4 is in docket number 2024-173T, which is the application of Morton Executive Decisions LLC for a Class C charter certificate. Item A5 is in docket number 2024-173T, which is the application of Bates Transportation LLC for a Class C taxi certificate.
Mr. Scarborough,
Yes, ma'am.
would you read that docket number again, please?
It's 2024-174T.
Thank you.
you. Sorry, I was off by one number. Thank you. Item A6 is in docket number 2024-175T. This is the application of Coastal Bus Line LLC for a Class C charter bus certificate. And item A7 is in docket number 2024-176T, which is the application of Beach Taxi LLC for a Class C taxi certificate.
Commissioners, we've heard motor carrier agenda items A1 through A7 as identified by Mr. Scarborough. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Thomas is recognized.
I move that the commission approve the applications for Class C and Class E certificates in item numbers A1 through A7 as identified by Mr. Scarborough.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Thomas. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, starting with Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion carries.
In Part B of the transportation agenda, we have one request for reinstatement. Item B1 appears in docket number 2002-337T. This is a request from First Student Incorporated for reinstatement of Class C charter bus certificate number 0159.
Commissioners, we've heard motor carrier agenda item B1 identified. Do I hear a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Caston is recognized.
Thank you. I move that the commission deny the request of First Student Incorporated for reinstatement of Class C charter bus certificate number 0159. Class C charter bus certificate number 0159 was canceled on May 4th, 2016 by Directive Order number 2016-336. Due to the length of time that has elapsed between cancellation and the current request for reinstatement, the motor carrier should file a new application for a Class C charter bus certificate with the commission to reflect the applicant's current information. I so move.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Caston. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, starting with Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams,
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams.
Aye.
I vote aye, and the motion carries.
In Part C of the Transportation Agenda, we have 3 requests for extensions of time. Item C1 appears in docket number 2014-73T, which is a request from Septian Jones, doing business as Beeline Transportation, for a 3-month extension of time to comply with Commission rules and regulations.
With regard to motor carrier agenda item C1, is there a motion?
Chair Belzer, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams is recognized.
Thank you very much. I move that the commission grant the request of Sep Jones, doing business as Beeline Transportation, for a 3-month extension of time until September 19th, 2024, to comply with commission rules and regulations.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Carol Lee Williams. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, starting with Commissioner Carol Lee Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams,
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item C2 is in docket number 2023-316T. This is a request from Sunrise Medical Transport, LLC, for an additional 9-month extension of time to comply with Commission rules and regulations.
With regard to motor carrier agenda item C2, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, did you say C2 or C3?
C2.
C2.
I'll make a motion.
C2. Madam Chair,
Vice Chair Powers, do you
I
want
have a motion.
Okay. Vice Chair Powers is recognized.
I move that the commission grant the request of Sunrise Medical Transport LLC for an extension of time until October 4th, 2024, to comply with commission rules and regulations. The extension represents 12 months from the directive order date granting the company's application for a Class C non-emergency certificate. If the company fails to come into compliance with commission rules and regulations by October 4, 2024, no further extension will be granted. However, the company will not be precluded from filing a new application at that time or thereafter.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Vice Chair Powers. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, starting with Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. The motion carries.
Item C3 is in docket number 1997-431T. This is a request from Betty Ann McCrae for a 3-month extension of time to comply with Commission rules and regulations.
With regard to motor carrier agenda item number C3, is there a motion?
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Justin Williams is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, fellow commissioners, I have a motion. By way of background, on May 13th, 2024, the commission received a request for a 3-month extension of time to comply with commission rules and regulations signed by Mr. Travis McCrae. The commission, by directive order number 2024-347, directed Mrs. Betty Ann McCrae to provide clarifying information regarding Mr. McCrae's position with respect to the motor carrier and his authority to make the extension request. Mrs. Betty Ann McCrae filed a letter with the commission on June 13th, 2024, wherein she advised that Mr. Travis McCrae is her son and that she granted authority to Mr. McCrae to make decisions for the motor carrier. Class C certificate number 6551 is issued to Mrs. Betty Ann McCrae. Unless Mrs. McCrae can provide a certified copy of a properly executed and filed power of attorney, she is the only person who can make a request with respect to Class C certificate number 6551. Therefore, Mrs. Betty Ann McCray must either re-execute the form requesting an extension of time with her signature as the holder of the Class C certificate number 6551, or provide a certified copy of a properly executed and filed power of attorney. A copy of the initial request will be attached to this directive order. The commission will continue to hold the request for a 3-month extension in abeyance until the commission receives the requested information. So moved, Madam Chair and fellow commissioners. And Madam Chair, at the appropriate time, I have a few remarks.
Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Justin Williams. We'll now have discussion and recognize Commissioner Justin Williams first.
Madam Chair, I would like to say to the McCray family that my motion is in no way, shape, or form to create a hardship for their business, but in a time where there's so much scamming and identity theft, the commission needs to make sure that the listed owner of the carrier is the one, or someone acting on their behalf through properly executed documentation, are the ones making requests to the commission for action. And without that, it would be unwise, in my opinion, for the commission to approve such a request. So again, to the McCray family, definitely not trying to create a hardship for you, but just want to make sure that we have good standards and procedures for granting such requests and not creating an even bigger problem. Thank you, Madam Chair. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner, for those comments. Commissioners, is there any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, starting with Commissioner Justin Williams,
I vote aye.
Vice Chair Powers,
Aye.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion carries.
In Part D of the transportation agenda, we have 3 requests to cancel certificates, all of which can be considered together. Item D1 appears in docket number 2023-219T. This is a request from Massive Transport LLC, doing business as Charleston Event Chauffeurs, to cancel Class C Charter Certificate number 9840. Item D2 is in dockets numbered 2023-203T and 2024-160T. This is a request from Luxury Airport Transportation LLC to cancel Class C Charter Certificate number 9856. And item D3 is in dockets numbered 2022-409T and 2024-160T. This is a request from Suitable Transportation LLC to cancel Class C Charter Certificate number 9769.
Commissioners, we've heard the agenda items D1 through D3 of the motor carrier agenda identified by Mr. Scarborough. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Thomas is recognized.
I move that the commission grant the request for cancellation of Class C certificates in item numbers D1 through D3 as listed by Mr. Scarborough.
Thank you. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Thomas. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, starting with Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams,
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers,
Aye.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
and I vote aye. The motion carries.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, this concludes all business noticed before the Commission today.
Thank you, Mr. Scarborough. As that concludes our business today, we will adjourn today's meeting. I again note that our next regularly scheduled business meeting will be Thursday, November 11th, 2024 at 11 a.m. We wish everyone a good day, and this meeting is adjourned. Commissioner
Chair.
Caston?
I may have misunderstood you, but did you say November the 11th or July the 11th?
I may have. It's July the 11th.
Okay.
I really may have said that, Commissioner Caston, and I appreciate you correcting me. Thank you.
I think, Madam Chair, Commissioner Caston, I think Madam Chair is just signaling she may need a vacation.
I think y'all would all agree on that, or maybe y'all need a vacation
Probably
from
so.
me. But either way, it's July 11th.
Thank
Next meeting is July 11th, 2024 at 2 p.m. Thank you, and we are adjourned.
you.